You guys still haven't heard the first app, right?
No,
No, sir.
I've not.
Oh, it's juicy.
Is it?
I mean, it's it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I'll take that. I'll take it.
Did you really think it would be bad?
I thought it would feel more awkward than it was. If that makes sense. Where it's like we're just hanging out and talking, but I was worried it would come out as like awkward because like, you know.
No, I don't know.
Long time listener, first time podcaster. Question for you.
Long time talker, first time podcaster.
The first time podcaster, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think it came out well.
We'll have to see what the people listening have to say.
Truly. So tell me, Luke.
Get enough drinks, it'll be a good time.
Oh. All right. Let's start with what are we all sipping on? What's sipping?
Do you think Luke's actually sipping on anything right now?
Just the pure dopamine and adrenaline of life.
Yes.
The sweet thoughts of hanging out with my friends.
Wow. You
Yeah.
must be parched. What about you,
What about
Eric?
you, Tab Butter?
Oh, I made a shit ton of eggnog for the holiday season.
Oh.
So I'm sipping on some
Homemade eggnog?
homemade eggnog. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, how long does that keep for?
Well, if this kills me, I'll let you know.
If
been a
he
good
dies, he
It's
dies.
been a good run. I mean, it's only like a few weeks old. Eggnog can keep for like months, I think, if it's like made properly and stored
What's the
properly.
liquor of choice?
This is actually really cool. It's a tequila sherry eggnog that I found online. And essentially it really tastes of the sherry, like the tequila's in there, but you get a lot of the sweet sherry, and that's really what makes the eggnog.
That's kind of snazzy.
Yeah, it's
You
nice.
can use tequila with eggnog?
You can do anything.
You can drink tequila other than with
It's
lime
alcohol.
and salt.
I don't know. Just tequila and eggnog doesn't seem like it would work to me.
I'll make you some in 10 months.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, something for you to look forward to, Luke.
Yeah, waiting with bated breath for that first sip of tequila nog.
Tequila nog.
First sip.
I mean, by all means, any alcohol kind of goes. Like, it's alcohol.
Yeah. What are you drinking, Eric?
And whiskey smash. That's where
Getting
I don't think I
smashed?
smashed my lemons enough. Pretty much just, it's very simple. Just lemon, bourbon, and the mint, which I honestly didn't have enough of either.
It sounds like something All Might would yell.
Whiskey smash. Dude, that does.
Oh, you know what? I am getting the mint in that. Yeah, no, it's there. It's definitely there.
Love that for you.
I still like mintier things, though, so I prefer more.
Mint in cocktails is just, in general, A1. It is just so annoying and frustrating to store the mint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
Is
use
it?
it enough.
Is it?
Is it?
It kind of is. Like, I feel like
I mean-
it's not something you just always have on hand. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, mint grows like a weed, so I feel like it wouldn't be hard to.
Wow, this is like homeowner like privilege here. You think I got space to grow some mint plants?
do.
Yeah, I mean, you could obviously do it like a window balcony. There's like ways to get around it.
Yeah, I think that'll really level up your cocktail game.
Wow,
honestly,
thanks for
I've
the
been-
sips, tips, and tricks, my guy.
I've been meaning to cultivate some mint just for that reason.
That's
Just
fair.
because I feel like I have this huge joy of being able to make my own food. That's why I like the idea of fishing a lot. Even though that's not making it, you're kind of working for your food, and I kind of like that.
I have a great content idea. We drop Eric in the middle of a deserted island for 1 month. Cameras, crew to make sure he survives, and he just tries to live for 1 month on a deserted island. I think he'd enjoy it.
Actually, might.
I think he actually would. No, if we like paid for all his expenses, like told all his friends where he's going, like I feel like he would enjoy it.
So you're just telling you and Luke then? That's simple enough.
I
Doesn't take much work.
wouldn't want to do it. No, I'd die.
I like taking showers too much for that.
Showers, bed, like running water and electricity really are like really nice.
The only running water you need is the blood flowing through your
I
veins.
thought you were gonna say the piss coming out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I see we have different ideas of showers, but that's cool. Whatever you're into.
Eh. So,
I'm not one to judge.
I'm glad you're not. So Luke, last episode you kind of left the viewers with a bit of a cliffhanger.
Did I?
You did. You said,
You did.
come and find out why my friends are not down. And seeing as we're your friends, I feel like this
But-
pertains to us.
by all means, though, we did end the entire thing off by mentioning sperm back. So him saying, "Come and find out,"
it was intentional.
You know, who knows if that had any other meanings to it? But I'm sure we'll find out right now.
You know,
And she remembers what he was talking
Yeah,
about.
don't tell me. Don't tell me.
What leading into that was?
Yeah.
Hopefully it will come to me, but...
Dude, there's no way you baited the viewers with...
Hey, they're gonna have to get used to it.
Oh my god. Wow, I guess your friends were pretty down, seeing as you don't remember.
Yeah. Maybe he's the one who's not down anymore.
Maybe Luke is the one who's not down.
Maybe he's the problem all along. Let's just gaslight him into believing that he's been the issue the entire time. And then only at the end will we make things just slightly better, you know?
Speaking of Luke, I have a bit of story that came up in my life, which is some of my friends, out of the blue, asked me if Luke is a model. I was like, no. What do you mean?
No way.
So, Luke, why don't you tell us why you're a model?
I want to hear your side of the story first. How did this come up?
So, I'm just minding my own business one fateful night, probably like a couple of days ago, and some of my friends from like who, you know, I'm good friends with them, but like we don't talk all the time. Let's see. One of their names is Gusty. Jujubee. One of their names, her name is Gusty, and the other guy's name is Chips. And Gusty messages me being like, hey, Teva, I just wanted to check because it's been a while. Is this Luke, and does he do any modeling? And links me a Twitter post of like Luke and another one of his friends who I recognize, just like picture perfect modeling for some artist merch. And in my head, I'm like, okay, wait, that's definitely Luke. I don't like. Oh, he might have, like, he said he was, like, doing a shoot for, like, a friend or something. To which Gusty pops off and says, oh my god, he's friends with Fuwafi? And I literally respond with the shrug emoji. Like, I don't know. Why would I know? And then Gusty continues to, like, gush at me of how much she loves Fuwafi's art. And I'm like, that's super cool. I don't know if he actually knows this artist. It might have been like a friend of a friend kind of thing.
It was. Our friend Klein messaged me like last month and was like, when are you free? I need a male model, in all caps.
I was hoping she would just say, I need a male.
I can't believe she didn't ask me and my beautiful 5'3" stature.
Yeah, let me tell you, as soon as she asked me that, the first thing I did was book a haircut.
Wait. No.
Before responding to her, I booked a haircut for the next week. And it turns out she's been working on a sweatpants and sweatshirt set. And she needed a model to model the large size. And I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. That's fine. And she follows up by saying, hold on.
Pulling up the logs.
My friend also needs a tall male.
Wow, damn, don't we all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she literally specifies tall man in all caps. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. We like schedule a time for me to be there after work. And I think about it again, and I'm like, oh God, I don't know what to expect. I've never modeled for something. I don't consider myself particularly photogenic. Like if I'm trying to be photogenic, it never turns out that way. And so I'm kind of like panicking. I ask her like, what kind of shoes should I bring? What should I wear? And she's like, neutral. And me, a man, has no concept of what that means.
Oh my God.
So I'm asking her all these questions, like what kind of shoes, what kind of socks, what colors. And so she like kind of explains it to me and like tells me what colors she's looking for. And I literally tell my girlfriend that I'm doing this and that I'm panicking. She's like, oh, here, there's this creator on TikTok who talks about how to like model. And so my girlfriend starts sending me all these modeling TikToks. My girlfriend cleans up my eyebrows the day before the shoot.
Oh, that's why you got your eyebrows cleaned.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so I go into it. I was feeling kind of nervous initially, but going in, it seemed like a pretty low stakes, stress-free environment. It was for Klein and Fuwafi, and I was just, I don't know, they just had me change into the clothes really quickly, and then pose. They gave me a lot of pointers on how I should be standing and stuff like that. And I think it all turned out pretty well. We didn't honestly use, I don't think they used like everything, like all the pictures that we took, because some of them were like probably not the vibe. Stuff got a little deranged towards the end with us just like messing around.
Yeah, I want to see the what's it called, like the photo reel of like the unused photos. You know?
Yeah, well, Fuwafi did use some of those on Twitter in the thread she was posting, like the me holding Klein up by the collar. That was something they're like, oh, you should hold her collar, and so I literally just pulled her up like a stray cat.
Oh my god, you scruffed her.
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, it was really fun. It was weird to finish a shoot of any kind early, because I've helped some friends with film stuff before, and that always went over. But yeah, it was a good time. I had fun.
Do you feel like you would model again after this experience?
Oh yeah, definitely. I told Klein like I would love to do it again. I had a lot of fun. So we'll see if Klein asks me back.
I will say they were cute as shit in those photos.
Oh, you look good.
The pictures that were used turned out really well.
Yeah, as like the 6-foot model, you looked great.
Well,
oh, sorry, 5'11" and 7 and 3 and like 3/4 inches. Like what? Tell us the story about that. What happened to your height?
Apparently, Klein doesn't know how tall I am because Klein's not very tall herself.
That's an understatement.
Well, after a certain point, she said like people who are taller than her are just kind of tall.
It's true.
And so she told Fuwafi that I'm 6 foot, like 5'11" to 6 feet, basically. I am 6'2", 6'3" on a good day.
Yeah.
And so
hey, shut up. You can't use my add an extra inch on a good day. You're already tall.
Oh no. It's true. It's true. Every extra inch over 6 feet is diminishing returns.
Honestly.
It's honestly not that great.
You're already set for Tinder, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel. You're good. You gotta make...
Yeah, me speaking from a place of privilege as a tall man.
A very high position of privilege, if you will.
Yeah. But anyway, Fuwafi like posts something about me being
like under 6 feet.
Yeah, and then Klein posts that in the group chat, and I respond with like, I can't believe she chopped 3 inches off of me. They just, like, as a joke.
They just shaved your head.
Yeah, and it didn't really bother me. I thought she was probably just doing it for like, just for sizing reasons.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
And it's like chill. But
I assumed it was a joke.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
But Klein should have known better because literally the last time I had my height measured, she was there.
Fake friend.
Yeah.
I know all your guys' heights.
Do you?
We're all very aware of your ape ratio, though, I will say.
No, the only thing Klein remembered from that night was that I'm -2 ape index.
Did you guys actually get that measured? And also, you might want to explain what the ape index is, because it's not, like, super common, especially if people don't climb.
Yeah, okay. Ape index is the difference between your height and your wingspan. So if your arms are longer, like if your wingspan's longer than your height, you're positive on ape index. If your arms shorter than your height, then you're negative. And I'm -2. So I have I'm 6'2", and then I have a 6 foot wingspan. Klein is +3.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She's ape as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like legit that night, we were all just at a function with all of us. And I don't even know how it came about. But towards the end of the night, we just had people literally lining up in Luke's hallway, waiting to get tape measured. And we're just sitting there pressed up against his wall, arms outstretched, just T-posed out to hell. And we're all just judging each other based on each other's ape index. It was a pretty fantastic experience, especially when we had someone completely new to the group watching all this unfold.
Damn, everyone got ape indexed.
Yeah, we got indexed.
So what are you, Eric?
What was I? +2? Something like that?
I feel like you're either +2 or you're even.
Yeah, one of those two. I kind of good.
Now I'm curious. Wonder how monkey I am.
We can get you ape measured next time.
Yeah, ape measure me, baby.
Yeah, that was the one point of pride I could take over Luke that day. That was fantastic.
How is climbing going, by the way?
Honestly, pretty good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Eric has a very good strength to weight ratio.
It's the nice way of saying I'm short, but we'll take it.
I mean,
you're not short. It's you're small.
You've always been like you've always had that kind of strength, and I feel like that contributes a lot.
Been in good shape, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Brute force a lot just with the upper body strength, but only now as I'm starting to tackle a lot of the more difficult routes. That's where I'm really having to actually use technique and form, as opposed to just monkey braining my way up there, which has been a lot of fun, honestly.
Instead of laddering up the climb.
Makes sense. Yeah, I had a phase when we were all sick with COVID where I was just watching like climbing videos, and like the fact that there was no way I could do it at that moment made it very like satisfying to watch people, and made me realize how important like technique is, like as opposed to just raw strength, right?
Yeah, and there's so much that you have to learn and like intuit and kind of even just feel with the way that your body is moving. That kind of takes a little bit of time to develop.
Yeah, like by all means, it's not saying that like raw strength doesn't matter. Like strength definitely does help. I know on my end right now, I think the raw strength, just none of the stamina.
He's lacking stamina.
Oh baby, best. Yeah, it's one of those cases where after a little bit I get pretty gassed and I'm not able to do the things which I know I can do. It's just my arms kind of just give out.
Can confirm.
Yeah, so our good climbing friend, we'll call him Turtle Ty. He's been wanting us to do more top rope climbing because we mainly just do bouldering.
Yeah.
And top rope is what most people think of when they think of rock climbing, like the taller wall with the rope and the harness. And so we've been doing that a lot more, and it's been good. It's been really fun and enjoyable. It's helped to keep things fresh, because what we're aiming to do outdoor climbs and like bigger outdoor big wall climbs and stuff like that in the future. And just doing top rope and stuff like that is good for building stamina for bouldering as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's more representative of like the climbs you'll find in like the outdoors. Like I'm sure there are like boulders and like bouldering to do, but I don't know, that just like makes sense, right?
Yeah, bouldering just looks cooler at like a small scale. And it's easier to like videotape yourself bouldering. And stuff like that. I feel like
it's less scary. Like you don't go up as high.
Exactly. So a lot of the stuff you'll see online of like people posting climbing, it's just bouldering. Plus you don't need a belay partner, so you can go by yourself. The perfect
tech bro activity. Bay Area tech bros. I don't even need another person to do this. This is perfect.
Have you ever wanted to gatekeep something?
All the time, yeah. Yeah, I could go on for hours, yeah.
Oh man, it's funny. Okay, I don't actually want to gatekeep climbing.
But you're about to, so please go off.
There's a bot attached.
Well, I mean, I don't want to gatekeep, but it's weird to see how much the spirit of climbing has changed. Because
how long have you been climbing for, by the way, out of curiosity?
5 years now.
Okay, so you're coming from a bit of experience.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, of course, the COVID years don't really count.
They count a little different, but sure.
They count differently. But yeah, like rock climbing used to be just like dudes who live in vans and would go up to Yosemite and be broke and not wear shoes while they're doing it and just like climb up the boulders. It was like, I don't know, rugged and very like out of your comfort zone kind of stuff. And now it's like we go to these cushy gyms with padded floors, wear nice shoes, we clock out of our nice tech person job. It's just so different.
Isn't that how you got your start though? Didn't you get your start at a cushy air conditioned gym, clocking in and out after work?
I did, and I'm disgusted with it.
Just absolutely disgusted. Yeah,
absolutely disgusted. I don't know. It's really funny. And I hope that people who climb in indoor gyms all like have a chance to climb outdoors too, because I was only doing indoor for a while, and the first time I went outdoor climbing, it really motivated me more and made things feel fresh again. So like honestly, if you've only done indoor and you have the chance to go climb somewhere outside, do it. It's great.
Oh, it's legitimately a lot of fun. I believe, did I do it twice or only that one time? I can't remember.
At least once.
At least once. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. It's definitely one of those things where all the same ideas apply, and everything that you do applies as well too. It's just one, being outdoors in that air as well. It's a completely different feel at the same time. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like when you're in a gym and you're gripping a hold, it's one thing, but if you're gripping rock, the rock will grip you back, and it's a completely different sensation. Yeah,
it's like a whole different like texture.
Totally.
It's like actual rock.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's great. It's fun.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Like, I definitely feel like, you know, it's like we made the like basic baby bitch version of rock climbing and brought it to the masses. We're like, you know, oh, here's an air conditioned outdoor gym. Oh, here's like rocks that are like, or like routes that are like graded at different levels, and here's super easy ones. And like, it's good practice for sure, and good to like get people started, because I think climbing outdoors is very daunting of like a thought with no like preparation or training.
Yeah.
But then people realized, oh, we just like the easy indoor thing anyway, and we're just going to do that. Like, it's more accessible. You don't have to drive out to these like national parks or like far out places.
And I fully recognize it's like a little silly of me to be like complaining about it as someone who started in an indoor gym and benefited a lot from the comfort and luxury of just being able to climb indoors. And especially as someone who wasn't there when people weren't wearing shoes and were living in vans.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the spirit of climbing.
I'm not that old, you know. Yeah, but
that's fair. I also feel like that whole idea is like very romanticized. Oh, living out of vans, like not wearing shoes, just doing it. I'm like, that sounds absolutely disgusting and horrific.
Yeah, no. It's like such a far cry from what people think of now.
You know what you should do for content? You should go live out in a van for a month, and we would make sure you have all the amenities.
Oh my god!
Wait,
me? Me? Why me?
You.
I thought you were gonna say Luke should do this because he's the one who's like, oh, the spirit of rock. Why would I do it? I'm like, no, that sounds shitty.
Yeah, we'll drop Eric off at the island. We'll put you in the van.
No, we'll put you in the van.
This is literally the Eric equivalent of being dropped on an island. It's forcing Teva into a van for a month and only living out of a van.
It's really not. You're like, I actively enjoy XYZ, and we're like, what if we took XYZ to the extreme? This would be like,
you have the creature comforts of a van. What's not to love?
I don't know, a bathroom, like.
It's fine. The nature outside of your van is your bathroom.
I'm pretty sure if I had to live in nature for a month, I would die. Like, I was talking with a friend just like this past week about like, because she basically recently went to Joshua Tree and was telling me about that. I'm like, this sounds horrible. Like, it's like all desert. There's like no like, she's like, thankfully there are toilets. And I'm like, wow, that's great. The bare minimum. Love that. But like, it's just, it is such a far cry from what I would enjoy as like a very indoorsy person. And like living in a van with apparently if you don't have like a toilet, you have to like discard your waste in a very careful way, or you could like literally kill yourself because animals track waste. And if something is very smelly, you could like attract a bear to you if you don't like bury your poop properly. I'm like, I didn't know that.
It's true.
Yeah,
do you think
I would die.
It would last a week? Let's not go too far. Not even a month. Would you last a week, do you think?
Like, could I survive?
Yeah.
The more, I think if I had like a month to prepare, I could survive a week.
You got stranded. You were on a boat. You got stranded. Boom. 1 week.
I was in a boat, and where'd I get stranded? An island, or?
I don't know, a desert. You just landed on a desert from a boat.
No, I would die of dehydration if I don't have clean water.
1 day.
Yes, I would live 1 day. Literally. Yeah. I might be starving and dehydrated, but I could live 1 day.
All right, bet. Let's go.
Yeah, let's fund it.
Well, we don't need to fund it. We just got to drop you off in the middle of the desert in a boat.
Just next time we go out for a ride, it's like, yeah, we're going out to eat very, very far away.
Yeah, towards this ominous little desert here. There's a really nice Burger King over there. That's where we're gonna go eat.
Oh, this is our stop. Pushes Teva out of the car.
And yeah, that's it. 1 day. That's all we ask.
Joshua Tree is actually a really good spot for climbing.
I know. That's why they went. They went to climb, and I'm like, why?
Why didn't you go with them, Teva?
Yeah, I considered it just like barging and be like, oh my god, climbing! I love climbing. I should totally go. No.
Don't you want to feel the spirit of rugged individualism?
No, I want to feel the spirit of my bed sheets. Like,
all right.
Who even were the people who went climbing?
They're just friends of mine in Portland, OHSU.
Oh, as I say. How did you ever end up like getting to know them? Like, what do you think was the thing that ended up making you friends with them in the first place?
Not the rock climbing. Definitely not the rock climbing.
Like, what was the first thing that kind of like made you click with them?
I'm trying to think. It's kind of hard because I don't always remember like the very first interaction. I feel like for most people, it is when I feel like they have shown me like a sliver of their genuine self.
Of the
of their genuine self. Assuming their genuine self is like a good person and aligns with my values, obviously. But like, I feel like a lot of times, especially as we like get older and are adults, people are more and more like closed off about who they are.
Really?
I think so. Maybe it just depends. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm closed off and I'm projecting.
I guess, what do you mean closed off? In what sense do you mean? Like less willing to be social or less willing to show more of yourself to new people?
I think with a lot of people, especially when you get older, you get like a well put together, like prettied up, like presentable version of yourself that you like go through life existing as and presenting to people. And a lot of times that like put together self is like much more like dulled, like it's not as like emotional or like genuinely invested in things. I don't know, it's a difficult thing to describe. But this is kind of a tangent. I assume you asked the question for like a reason.
I asked because I realize as I'm kind of meeting new people right now, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm finally in a space now that COVID's over, haha.
Over, you say.
In a new workspace.
Yeah.
The thing I've been noticing is, who do I end up clicking with? And the opposite of that as well, too, is who do I not click with? Like, there's no one... Okay, I say that. There's no one that I very much dislike or anything, but there's definitely some things and some people where I'm like, I don't know if I vibe with that necessarily.
Yeah.
The thing I noticed is people who complain a lot. I don't vibe with that. I think for me, a big thing is just, I don't know, I'm too lazy to complain about things. I don't have energy for that. So I just kind of exist. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, aren't you complaining about them right now? No.
I've heard you complain once or twice.
Once or twice.
Got him.
I mean,
checkmate.
I don't know. I'm very, very lazy at this point, and I feel like it's a lot easier for me to just stop caring about things at that point.
I think
love that.
I do love that too, but I have a take which is also, if you're like meeting someone for the first time and their first impression or first like action is to like complain about something like negatively, I think that kind of says a bit about like who they are as a person, right? Like
100%, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
For one, it drains my energy because I'm someone who gets very invested when I talk to people. And when I'm talking to someone who's, I guess, complaining a lot about things, I share a lot of their exasperation by all means, and that drains me. I noticed.
You're very like empathetic.
Yeah,
like,
Eric just said being the me and empath meme.
Yeah. So I'm an empath.
I only
No,
kind
for
of
sure.
realized that today because most days when I end my day when I'm by myself, I'm kind of chilling and it's fine. Today I was ending the day with someone who just had a lot going on, but they also had more of a negative outlook on their work and everything of that sort. And I realized I was very drained by the end of just talking to them. And they're still nice, don't get me wrong, but I still was very drained by the end of it. And I realized part of it's just there's a certain amount of man, I feel really like bad for that, and it kind of sucks that you're like having to deal with these different things. But man, the complaining, I'm just like, oh.
But like, why are they complaining to you?
I mean, because I guess for a lot of people, it's really easy to open up to. For me, I guess. Like one of my good friends at work, I think on like the second day we were talking, she was like, "Man, I gave you like a lot of personal stories in a span of a day." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. It just happens that way sometimes." But by all means, I think I tend to create an atmosphere. People are just willing to talk and open up more, which I guess is good. I mean, it's a good thing. It's 100% a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
it's a
glad I'm
compliment.
able to bring people to that point where they're comfy.
Yeah,
It's something that I value personally.
I definitely agree in terms of the like as like you meet new people, like what makes you click, what makes you like friends or get along. I've thought about this a lot too, seeing as I'm like moved to Portland for like graduate school and had to like figure out kind of almost from scratch in a weird way, like how to make friends. Because like obviously like people learn to make friends as they go throughout life, but I do think like as you get to different stages, like the game changes slightly over and over again and you kind of have to adapt. And so like meeting a bunch of new people for the first time in a context where you don't have any friends already is like very different, because most of the good friends I've made since like becoming like I don't know, I'll say like an adult, like 24, 25, like older, basically, almost senile. Like all those friends have been through mutual friends, like other people that I have like met through them. And it feels so much easier and more natural because you have like a shared thing to talk about, which is the friend, the mutual friend. And then a lot of times because you already have that mutual friend, you have like a sense of like their hobbies and interests that like might also align. Like it just works so much better. Whereas like going into like grad school, like you might think like, okay, it's like a biological sciences, neurosciences like graduate program. People will probably have a lot of similar interests, right? No, not really. Like nobody in my like cohort watched anime, played video games on PC. Like there's just like a very different, like nobody was like Asian. Like there was a very different like range of interests I found. And I realized that like having shared interests is like a pretty important like part of like becoming friends with someone. Like that might sound obvious, but I didn't really like grasp it to the degree of like, oh, if you don't have a shared interest, it's hard to like continuously talk or hang out with someone because there's like nothing to say or do.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's where in the same friend that I kind of made at work, we clicked really, really quickly because we were similar on a lot of fronts and also shared a lot of some interests, just like, playing games, like watching anime, and like the way that we interact with people in particular as well. And it's one of those things where now there's someone I talk to on like a daily basis, and I never would have expected that. And there's other people which I click with, but to a lesser extent, because it's, again, less shared interest. And it kind of goes on this scale to an extent, right? Of the less shared interest you have, the less you tend to engage with them, right? There's less to naturally talk about sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's not like a bad thing either. It's just kind of the way that things are, right? And by all means, I have some people who, like when I went to go study abroad, that I had, really awesome, like up until 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning talks, like all 5 of us kind of a thing. So it was like a really, really close, knit time. But we don't keep up that often. But it's still always nice to like catch up once in a while. But again, because there's like we're all very different people.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's a very lack of shared interests with the things that at least I engage with, it's harder to keep up on a daily basis. And as we mentioned before, it's sometimes hard for me personally, to keep up with people actively, right? We're really kind of bringing that full circle back to episode
It's
1.
crazy. It's crazy. Full circle to episode 1 in episode 2. Look at us.
Full circle. It's more like 2 points.
2
making
points.
A straight line.
Yeah. It's really not. I mean, it's just, I think it's a very like poignant topic that is like in our lives right now, seeing as we are like all 26.
Copium.
And some of us going on 27 soon, so
We're all still young.
yeah, no. Honestly, I feel like 27 is when it really falls off the cliff.
27 feels like an awful. I don't know. I don't like the number.
I've decided that when I turn 30, I'm no longer going to complain about age. I'm just going to let it go.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you see there was a whole like segment on the yard where Nick was just like, what if we just killed people at 40?
I'm in a game for that. Like, you don't have boomers anymore at that point, right? You just have jaded millennials, and by the time that they get to that like point of acceptance of we're getting old, they don't have to worry about it
I feel
anymore.
like that was basically his like core argument. Like how much more like bomb ass lives would people live to the point they're 40 if they just knew like, all right, 40 is the end point. We got to make it work till then.
Isn't that just The Giver?
Probably in some way.
Yeah, don't people, they get old and then they just like kill them?
Giver was a good book.
Giver.
No, I think you're right. It's like at a certain point they like outlive their like function and they're like, all right, time to say goodbye. And then they like go to a special place that's super nice and friendly and fluffy, and then they die or something. That's what I remember too. Maybe it's a different book, but I think that's The Giver.
Oh, I'm kind of game for that, dude. I wouldn't even complain.
I don't think I'm game for that.
No, I don't think I'm game for that.
I think where I'm at right now, like, man, dude, do I really want to live another like 40, 60 years?
Yeah.
Like, that's so much time. Like, I already feel so old at 26, dude. Do I really want to feel that much older times 3? Oh gosh.
I feel like Luke makes a good point. I feel like we're only complaining because we're so young. And we're like still young enough that we remember vaguely what it was like to be young. Once we're 30, we're like it's over.
We aren't young?
I'm so tired, Teva. Every day I wake up and my bones creak and my neck snaps.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I mean, I hear it after being 30.
Sounds like a skill issue, Eric.
It's a skill issue.
It is a skill issue.
It's a genetics. A genetics issue. Yeah.
So, wait, Teva, do you feel like people are putting up like a facade or something when you're talking to them? Or like there's an inauthentic version of self that you're engaging with when you're meeting new people?
I don't know if inauthentic is like I think that's correct. I think it's maybe a tad extreme. Like, it's not like they're not being authentic. I think it's just people have like a self they present out to the world, which is generally more muted than their real self. And part of that might also just be like, if you don't have like very clear shared interests, it's harder to like open up about things because like your real self likes certain things, and it might be harder to communicate like those interests and those passions to someone who isn't like familiar with it. But I think
it's such a bad thing.
I don't know if it's a bad thing. I think it is. It can be frustrating at times in terms of trying to get to know new people.
I mean, I do agree. I know for me, with my group essentially at work, they kind of knew me as, like good old work Eric. And then now that they've gotten more comfortable and I've gotten more comfortable with them, they starting to see the gremlin side, and they're like, what is all this toxicity coming from? And that's
now that you've trapped them.
Now that I've trapped them, now I can show my true gremlin colors, and now they realize I've been toxic all along.
I think it takes time to open up to people, for sure. And I think and I think that encapsulates the outer self veil that I'm like thinking about, is this like opening up to people, right? Mm-hmm. And different people do it in like different ways at different rates, and some people do it faster than others, especially depending on who like they're meeting and how like well you get along. But I do kind of feel that way in ways that like as an adult that you just kind of don't get as much in like college, undergrad, high school.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like in those situations, obviously there's always like a bit of a barrier, but there's so much more freedom and time, and you can like just get to know people like via classes or shared interests like that way. Like there's just so much more to do. There's like clubs. Obviously you can find like recreational activities to do as an adult, but like in undergrad there's just like so many clubs. You can join a club and you immediately have people you can like find who are like, oh, we like doing this thing, let's do this thing.
Yeah, I think like a big part of like, I had this thought recently, like the big part of what makes it so hard to keep up with friends like as an adult is that you're not going to school with people and not seeing them every single day over and over and over.
That is
so you have to be the one to make that time.
That is actually a very like I agree like 200%. That is such a big point too. Is just the frequency of time you get to spend with people. Where school like puts you in an enclosed, forced environment where you're like, hey, hang out with them.
Exactly.
Whether you want to or not. That is a great point. I think time is a huge factor too. Whereas adults, some people are at different stages, right? And some people have basically like filled up all their time with people they already want to hang out with and things they want to do by themselves. And they can't add someone new into it without taking away from time from other people they want to hang out with.
Yeah, it's a precious resource at the end of the day, right? I mean, this came up today as well too for me. I mean, we were just the same person. We were just talking about how, yeah, it's kind of hard to get to know new people like outside of work, right? It's kind of the same deal with school in that sense, right? Where it's that kind of next stage of life where instead of meeting new people through school, you're meeting them through work or whatever else you have going on in your life. And maybe this is different for people who are a lot more extroverted, where they're more willing to go out and put themselves out there in different social situations. But I figure for people who are a little more introverted, who kind of stick more to themselves, you meet people through circumstance more than anything else, right? And that's where, again, it's neither a good nor a bad thing. I think for me, it's a lot more organic to meet people just by circumstance, right? And again, I'm lazy, so I don't really put myself out there that much. I don't know if you guys share that kind of same sentiment as far as that goes, but I don't know. Like, there are times where I think maybe it would be kind of nice to like go to a bar and just meet different people. I know our friend D Nasty, he did go ahead and do that. And that's where he wanted to, go out and actually put himself out there, meet new people. And it's a very him thing to do, end of the day.
I mean, good for D Nasty. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like so awkward. Like I could not go to a bar to meet people without another person or friend there. Like it just feels like the most awkward experience in my head. But to each their own, right? Like whatever works for them. If I were really trying to meet people, yeah, I would think to like maybe like look for like social like recreation leagues or some like defined activity group that is like open to new people joining. But yeah, it's hard. It's a real problem. That being said, like I think it is really easy to like I think it is easier to meet someone and talk with them the first time than it is the second time. Because I think the first time is much more, again, because of this veneer, like it's much more formulaic. Like the first time, especially like undergrad and also a bit in grad school, there's like all these easy questions you just get for free. Oh, what year are you? Oh, what are you studying? Oh, what are you interested in? Like all these like easy questions. And so grad school is still not like being a real adult in that sense. But it's kind of like more similar. In terms of the time aspect, for sure.
I see what you're saying for sure. Especially with meeting new people. Like you do have, I wouldn't say scripted lines, but you have very easy topics, especially when you are in the same circles. Like as I kind of mentioned, when you're within the same like either workspace or community, you have a lot of similar topics to touch upon that are very surface level, right? Just very easy touch and go topics that you could ask pretty much anyone else, right?
Yeah,
I see what you're saying, for sure.
It's like, yeah, exactly. The questions are not tailored to the person you're talking to. They are like in the script, and you're like, all right, let me pull out question 5B. Oh, yeah, where do you, like, what like, kind of like, I don't know. God, I guess I'm not good at this. I can't even think of a question. Like, in grad school, it's easiest, like, oh, what professors are you interested in? Oh, what, like, specific field of topic of neuroscience do you like? Oh, what do you like to do on the weekends? What do you like to do outside of science? Like, there's all these, like, questions that after going through, like, grad school and, like, the social, like, elements of it for, like, 4 years, you kind of pick up on. You
exhaust your cheat sheet.
You don't exhaust. Well, you build your cheat sheet, and then you use it every time you meet a new person.
Yeah, I guess that's something where I was something I always was afraid of, I think, when I was younger, is the anxiety of, like, oh, God, what if I run out of something to say? And that's where over the years I've kind of learned to, one, because I have a genuine interest when I do talk to people, I was like, oh, what are they about and whatnot. So you kind of learn what topics flow into each other and, you know, what people are willing to talk about, what they're not willing to talk about. And from there you kind of in a kind of mildly psychopathic way, you pick them apart and figure out what they're interested in, and then you kind of go from there.
Only mildly psychopathic.
Only mildly
Yeah, just a
psychopathic.
little bit.
Just dissect people ever so slightly. But by all means, that's kind of where, for me, I've learned to go and, okay, you know, they're interested in this. Okay, what's like an interesting topic that might get them to be more open, to kind of get them to come out of the shell a little bit. Because for me, I have a really large enjoyment in just listening to people nerd out about things. Like, I want to see what people are passionate about. And even if I don't entirely understand it, if they're passionate about it, they'll explain it to me by all means. And I kind of like to learn more things that way as well. So that's where I want to get people to that point where, you know, I just want to get them to talk about what they're excited about.
Showing their true selves, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where
it's nice. I feel like there's a whole set of other questions that you can use the second time you see someone.
How have your research interests changed since the first time I saw you?
Dude, you sound like you're writing a professional email. It can be as simple as like, oh, how was your weekend? What's new? How's that professor going? You know, you follow up, and then it's like,
I feel like that's the big thing.
The first time, and you're building on that. You know,
this might be a case where maybe it's more difficult for Teva, because I know for me, I tend to try to remember things that they mentioned in the first meeting, right? Like, oh, like I talked about, I don't know, their dog. I feel like that's always an easy one, right? Do people have pets? And I'll be like, oh, hey, how are your pets doing, or something like that. Try, you know, whatever. Not Teva. I feel like you tend to sometimes forget things, and I feel like, do you like, if you were to meet someone firsthand, they mentioned like some details about maybe their job, their like outgoings right now, like what they recently did on the weekend, or what they say they're excited about, would you remember that?
I was gonna speak to this after Luke said, oh, you follow up, and I'm like, well, that's difficult if you don't remember the first conversation. So I'll try and get back to your question, but I actually have a bit of a funny story. So literally just like last month, I was walking to the gym with some people from lab, and one of them was like, oh, hey Teva, it's good to see you again. And in my head I was like, who the fuck is this? I do not know this man.
Oh my god.
And like, he was like, oh, what do you mean? No, it's me, Alan. We like met at like the retreat. And I was like, huh? Who?
No.
And in those situations, I like to be just like deadpan honest, because I think it's less awkward than faking it. So I literally just straight up told him, hey, you seem super nice. I don't remember you at all. So for me, it's nice to meet you. Hi.
You're better than me, because this is where my social anxiety kicks in, because I'm a little chicken shit. When that happens, I fake it till you make it kind of a thing.
Oh my god.
And more specifically, until I can look up on Facebook who the fuck they were.
Oh, you're one of those people.
This exact thing happened to me last week, because I ran into a friend that I knew back in high school during climbing. And it was one of those serendipitous things where all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in years. It's your first time climbing. Oh, hey. Oh, you also work at the exact same job I just started. Awesome. Hey, go ahead and ping me, you know, just to hit me up whenever you get the chance.
Ping me on Slack.
Oh my god,
like,
yeah.
Actually, though. And then only afterwards, like, I had a vague idea of who they were. I was like, I'm fairly certain, because they had a really common name of like Steven kind of a thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was
like,
okay, I know
Bill.
like 7 Stevens. Which one is it? So I had to go back in my car, looked at it on Facebook. I was like, okay, I'm actually sure that's who that was.
Just imagine.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I will say that I was really glad to be able to see them again, because we were always pretty chill back in high school. And they were also a little more, I wouldn't say socially awkward, but they're less willing to put themselves out there as well. And I don't think I would have even done this. Because I was washing up my hands. I was in the bathroom. I was washing up my hands at the sink. I have both my earphones in with sound suppression on, so I can't hear shit. I'm washing my hands, listening to music, and all of a sudden I see this head like peek out from the corner of my periphery, just like, hey, kind of a thing. I like see it, and I look over like, oh shit, it's you. How's it going?
No.
So I mean, it was cool. Like I hit him up, everything like that. we're probably gonna go climbing. He actually wants to get a membership and everything like that. So we're really in that certified tech bro zone at this point.
You guys really
But
are.
it's bad. You don't even know the beginning of it. At this point, I started telling people like, "Oh, hey, have you tried climbing? You probably would like it." And immediately after saying that, I just want to like leap myself off the closest cliff. It's just I'm really embodying that tech bro lifestyle at this point.
Working changed you. You switched.
There's like toxic climbing memes, and it's bad. It's bad for me. Going back to me gatekeeping.
Yeah. Full circle.
Yes. Climbing, there's like ratings, right?
Yeah.
For how hard a climb is.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they scale from 0 to like 14, with 14 being like impossible, and 0 being like a ladder.
Yeah. Ladders can be tough, man.
Yeah. There's this whole meme of like, oh, that's a 2 in my gym. But I legitimately had a moment watching, like looking on Instagram today, seeing someone I know climb and seeing them post what the rating was, and me being like, oh no, that's not that rating.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that the gym we go to sets stuff pretty hard. So stuff is more challenging than it would normally be. But I was like, oh man, I'm turning into one of those people.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. What can we say?
I mean, better that way. Yeah.
No, I felt like such an ass because we went climbing on Sunday, and it was one of those things where I was already kind of sketched out with going, just because in that week I already went to the gym. That was going to be my 4th time. So prior to that Sunday, I went to the gym 3 times already that week, and that's a lot for me, at least, who hasn't been doing any physical workouts for a long time. And at that Sunday, I already had a messed up elbow, and I pushed it a little more. So at that point, I was like, okay, I shouldn't climb anymore. But my left arm was still fine. So I was like, what if I just did some routes one-handed? And I chose one, and it worked out. I did it. But I was very acutely aware that I was some asshole trying to, like, show off by doing routes one-handed, where I'm just watching these literal children struggle with it. So you imagine, as like a parent, you watch your kid, that your pride and joy, struggle and fall on this like V1, one of the easiest routes, and you just see some asshole dude just go up and like one-hand things like he's having the time of his life. And I was very acutely hurt, but at the same time, I think I've stopped caring and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, I'm having fun, so fuck them kids. Respectfully.
I love how that you wrap that up with like, yeah, the kids are the problem. Like, I think what you're doing is fine though. I feel like a lot of like people like will climb. Maybe I'm crazy. Will climb easier routes like with challenges or like handicaps as like to make it more interesting or exciting.
Yeah, I mean, people climb easy routes slower for warm-ups. That's like what I do, just to get yourself moving.
Yeah, I also feel like in most areas where it's like exercise or gyms, like my personal like philosophy is always like, I don't give a shit what anyone else is doing, and I have no idea why they're doing it or what their reason is, unless it is like obviously like unsafe or unwise, like someone at the gym like doing something with really poor form, like that's like, okay, you should be careful there, buddy. But like if you're just climbing like one-handed, I feel like that's like people do that. That's like a challenge. And yeah, you don't know. Your arm was injured. People wouldn't know that.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't making it extra obvious that I was injured.
You're like, gotta make sure.
Like, woe is me. Look how useless my right arm is.
Oh my god, you drama queen.
No, by all means, though, I've learned definitely in the past year or so that I've really stopped giving a shit what other people think, which is nice. I've really started to sip that fuck it juice. And I think the biggest thing that kind of led me to that realization was the fact that I started growing my hair out. And you guys have both seen me, obviously, when I had short hair. Yeah. And like where it is the jungle mess that it is now, where I look like some sort of like unhoused person like on the streets. Like it gets pretty gnarly how long it is. And honestly, I think I look so much better with short hair. But at the same time, it's fun. I like having long hair, and it's one of the most like self-love things I've done for myself. Where I don't know, it's fun. I enjoy it. Again, I think I objectively look better with short hair, but I've been enjoying it, so I've been keeping it, you know? And it's kind of liberating to just be like, yeah, fuck it, I don't give a shit. I like it, so I'm gonna do it.
I mean, I agree. As long as you enjoy it, that is what's important. I also agree that you look better with short hair.
Yeah, I
but
think...
you do you.
And rejected truth, yeah. And hey, sometimes it has its peak. Sometimes I look beautiful, and that's awesome.
You look very glorious, glamorous. Also, one thing is, once you cut it, if you cut it ever, it's hard to go back.
Yeah.
It's a one-way
until the
trip.
next pandemic hits.
Until the next pandemic hits.
Oh boy.
No, I mean, like, some people at work will be like, wow, your hair is really, really nice. It's like really voluminous. I'm like, yeah, thank you. I put some work in it. It's cool. It's nice. Again, they've never seen with short hair, so they don't know better. So, you know, ignorance is bliss and all. But I'll take those compliments. I'll feed it to the ego bank for the day. Yeah. Why not?
You know, while we're here and while I have you guys, there's been some interesting stuff going on in my life. It's a very important day, actually, just passed for me.
You married.
What is it?
It was the 1-year anniversary of Teva Tweet Tuesdays.
Oh boy.
I was saying 1-year anniversary, and you guys were all like, Teva's not dating someone.
Oh, we already knew that.
Yeah, but like...
right now.
You were what? What?
I'm gonna ratio you right now.
Dude, you have no chance. You have no chance. No.
Don't I?
Well, you do, but you would fake it. You would be like, guys, you have to like this. I'm ratioing Teva. It's funny. You would have no chance naturally. You're like, he's right.
I'll give you a fighting chance, Teva. I'll even retweet your tweet. Boom. There you go, buddy. There's your little notification. God.
You're so ridiculous.
All right, Luke, do it to him.
No. I have to find the tweet where I ratioed you initially.
Oh.
And then I will say, this is the 1-year anniversary.
Wait, that would actually be really good. Oh my god. Yeah, then you have a chance. I can see that. Yeah. But yeah, this past Tuesday, I've been doing Teva Tweet Tuesdays for a year. Now, I missed some weeks. That happens. That's okay. But overall, I'm like very happy with myself. Because, and again, this podcast is like a similar vein. Like, I feel like as an adult, it is so easy to like meander through life and just like watching the days go by and having nothing to like remember them by. And now I have one tweet for every week that I can remember.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, and like some of them are like bangers. Like let's see what I'm scrolling through my Twitter feed to like pick some stuff up. Like, oh, this was a good one. On October 4th, 2022, I tweeted about Magic the Gathering's 30th anniversary product. Like, I just have that in my feed, and like I can remember that Wizards of the Coast printed proxies for $1,000 to get you like a chance of getting something good. Like, it's just the most ridiculous thing.
Teva, I have some bad news.
Why? What?
I ratioed you on your first Teva Tweet Tuesday.
Luke?
Yes?
I have some bad news too.
What is it?
I don't know if we can be friends.
I'm okay with this.
You ratioed my first Teva tweet?
You said it's your inaugural tweet, and I said you should inaugurate this ratio.
Oh my god, I did.
That was a good tweet.
I don't think I don't think I can bottle lightning twice. You know.
Honestly, yeah, you captured something real special with the first one.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, no, it's like sometimes I just scroll through and I'm like, wow, this is so true. Like, piano is the GOAT instrument. Very true. It is. I think it's undeniable. Bestie. Yeah. I have like a whole set of tweets about like Chainsaw Man and like the OPs and EDs. Like, I don't know. It's just something that I can look back at and it brings me a little bit of joy.
But when are you going to put down your hot takes?
My hot takes? I did. I put down, one of my tweets was a fast food tier list and everyone roasted the shit out of me. People were so mad. They like replied and didn't even like the tweet. And then in my like in the Discord with my friends from back in the Bay Area, they were literally like, Teva, what is this? This is the most dog shit tier list I have ever seen. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, bro, how did you put like Popeyes so low? And I'm like, I didn't like Popeyes. I thought it was mid at best.
Oh yeah, no, I see this.
Yeah,
I see
yeah. I feel like my fast food takes are just like, I don't know. I think they're flawed because I just don't like fast food that much in general.
I'm with you on that.
So because I don't like fast food, like some of the things that are just like greasy and disgusting but tasty, I'm just like, no, this is too far that way, and I just don't like it.
The fact that you put Little Caesars in the lowest tier,
dude, I'm not hot and ready, man.
You know me, I'm hot and ready.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, brother.
I don't know. To be fair, I feel like I've had Little Caesars like maybe once, and it just was like probably because they catered it because it was like a lot of pizza, and I was just like, this is mid. Like, this isn't very good.
I don't know, man. There's something very special about getting a whole large pizza for $5.
It's a value proposition in the same way that In-N-Out is, I think.
I feel like this is. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh, I was gonna say In-N-Out's still good. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the reason why it's good is because of the fact that it's a value proposition.
I agree that its price is like very, very good, and its price point is what makes it so like attractive to most people. I honestly think In-N-Out, regardless of its price point, is still my favorite fast food burger. Like if they charged as much as Five Guys, I would still rather get an In-N-Out burger.
I don't know, Filet-O-Fish kind of slaps, but you know.
Well,
it doesn't even give you a whole slice of cheese. Literally half a slice of cheese.
And that makes you value the cheese more. You're really aware of how little you have, so you learn to cherish it even more.
I really have grown out of the like thick rectangle of like pure fish, like weird fish flesh in my life, and I don't think I need the Filet-O-Fish for that.
Dude, Popeye's hot chicken is good.
Am I? Whoa! You can't just ask a man that.
Because I feel like if you're not, you need to eat more Filet-O-Fishes.
Okay, well in that case, I'm very happy.
What were you saying about Popeyes?
Popeyes hot chicken, so good. That's what Power's Hot Chicken Tuesdays.
Oh my gosh, shut up. Everything's about climbing with you. It's all like, do you know we get hot chicken on Tuesdays after climbing? Like,
hey, you're bringing that up. I didn't say it. I just said Popeyes good, hot chicken good.
I've heard I've gotten like the wrong thing at Popeyes, but to be fair, when I went to Popeyes, it was because a friend asked me like, hey, I want to try these hot sauces with like some chicken. And so I got chicken at Popeyes, not hot chicken because we're already adding hot sauce. And it was
no point in double dipping that.
No point. Yeah, exactly. No point. And the chicken was bad, and it came with a biscuit, and the biscuit was bad.
Are you grading this on peaks? Are you grading this on consistency?
I feel like for fast food, I'm grading it on what I would like, probably peaks, because it's like what I would order that I like. Which I feel like at fast food is pretty consistent. If you like always order the same thing, I feel like you usually get the same thing.
That's true. I think Chipotle is one of the most inconsistent fast food restaurants.
That is fair.
Because they actually have to cook stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's true. So I guess I'm going with average for that.
Okay.
Like my average Chipotle experience is better than most of my other fast food experiences, just because I don't feel like complete dog shit after eating it. Like that's a big factor.
Yeah, there's you've always said this.
Yes.
You have always said this. There's when you're thinking about fast food, you have to think about how good it is when you're eating it, and then how you feel after eating it.
I think it's critical. Otherwise, it's the whole experience. It's like hours of your day.
Yeah, holistic fast food.
Holistic fast food evaluation, yes.
Yeah.
You know the fast food place that enforced this that rule?
Five Guys.
Yeah, Five Guys, because Five Guys burger and Five Guys fries taste so good in the moment, And then I feel like have not felt worse eating like any other fast food after. I'm like, God, I feel empty. I feel like sick. I don't know, man. I don't know, but it tastes really good.
Having fast food, having Five Guys with you.
Yeah.
Going back to the apartment, laying on the carpet.
Yeah. Just like, oh. Like,
I don't. Oh, yeah, go.
I was just going to say, I'll still get like Five Guys from time to time, but like I have to be like mentally prepared.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember the last time I ever got Five Guys. I just remember that the last time I did, I just remember pain.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't even think it was from like me being on the toilet. It was just like general pain.
No, I digested it like fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It just does, just something about it. Like, I think it was like all the grease.
It.
Like, I don't know.
It saps your energy.
Yeah.
It's actually, and again, it was like a fine experience while you're eating it, you know?
Yeah, it tastes really good.
Yeah.
But, God, it's not worth it.
It's empty calories. It's such empty calories.
Like, that being said, like, I have no issues with your tier list because I'm just really ambivalent about fast food in the sense of like,
we're the same.
That much. Like, I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I don't have an issue with like where you put things.
Yeah, and like in my tier list, like literally, it's like all graded as like everything's kind of shit. Like my A tier is all the okay ones, and then my S tier is best of the shitters. So
and that does bring me to something I wanted to approach to you guys.
Yeah.
Did I ever bring up the idea of the U.S. state flag tier list to you guys? Because I think it's a really fun tier list to do.
I don't know if you have. I have seen tell of like people doing this. I feel like most flags are pretty bad.
That's a lot of flags.
50
That's
of
a lot.
Maybe more.
Don't worry, I already did it, and it's surprisingly fun because there's some really bad dog shit flags out there. Like, I think it's in Maryland's. That's let me check really quick.
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead and just search up the Maryland, like the state flag of Maryland, and you tell me that it is not something that like some like 8-year-old stitched together in like MS Paint.
It looks like something they'd wave at NASCAR to signal like 5 laps left.
Yeah, it is.
It looks like
scoffed flag.
It looks like one of those like optical illusion things. Like there are actually only 3 lines in this flag, but your mind sees 4. Like
the colors, it's all 2 colors, but the lines separate.
Like, it is really like oddly like cross stitched in a way. Like literally one of there's like a like clip that like looks like a NASCAR, like it looks like a European soccer team, like as a logo in a way. It's like this weird ass, like this is weird.
Really gonna talk shit about Cecil, 2nd Baron Baltimore's best work?
Is that are you on the Wikipedia page?
Has been described as the perfect state flag, mind you. Bold colors, interesting patterns, and correct heraldry. A flag that shouts Maryland.
So that being said, yeah, you guys should do it. I'm very curious to see what you guys come up with whenever you guys finish.
What do you mean? We should all do it together.
You could do it. I already did mine, so I know where I stand.
You've already done it?
Oh, I've done. That's why I'm bringing it up because I know it's a
Maryland
good
is S tier. I think
so,
I
know. I went on a very objective graphic design sense, so I know Luke's is going to be like, man, this one's dog shit.
Right.
S tier.
It's so great.
Okay, next episode, we all make our own tier lists. We post them in the Discord, and then we compare and contrast.
I like it.
No. So, how about we discuss our top 5 flags?
Top 5, bottom 5.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
sure.
Yes.
Okay, quick thing. Have you seen South Carolina's flag?
No, I've seen none of these flags. They don't matter.
Look it up really quick. Because for no good reason, it looks like if I told you this flag is part of an Islamic caliphate, you would probably believe me.
They got the moon going there. You got that Islamic moon.
Honestly, see that.
And for no good reason, they chose this design, and I could not tell you why.
I swear that's patented already somewhere, right? Like they can't just use that.
Like I'm fairly certain. Yeah. Like again, I could tell you like, hey, this is an Islamic caliphate, and you'd be like, yeah, it is.
I believe you. It literally, some of them have like a desert like palm like oasis tree. Like
yeah. Again, no good reason why it looks like
in South Carolina. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll do this tier list, report back next week, and we're going to compare results.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I like what Luke says rather than like, because I feel like with 50 flags, it's like so many to like, we can like make like talk about some notable ones, but I like doing like top 5, bottom 5, and seeing where we stand.
Here, this is just the flag of Scotland, but a different color.
Have you seen the flag of Wales?
Hold on.
What?
No? The flag of Wales.
This looks like what they'd put up at Golfland.
Yeah! It's got like a fucking cartoon ass dragon on it.
It's badass.
Let me tell you, in the like 1400s, seeing this flag come over the hill might have been a little scary. But,
Dude,
you know,
I don't know my history that well, but I feel like Wales was like a very like well defended and like fortified like area throughout like what's the Isle of Britannia, like its history, because of like their geography. I could be totally talking out of my ass, but like I think they're like in a more like either mountainous or hilly region that's like hard to attack. And so no one fucked with them because it's like, or maybe they didn't fuck with them as much because they're like, that land kind of dog shit. We're just gonna ignore you.
Teva, have you been watching Vinland Saga? That's literally a plot point.
Is it? Oh my god, I think that is where I know it from, actually. Shit. Oh my god, I'm so dumb.
On the flip side of things, you got Hawaii state flag, which feels bad, dude. It is colonialism at its best, and that comes as no surprise to anyone, I'm sure.
I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been surprised if it was just like the Dole pineapple logo.
This is like a picture of like everyone who has a finger in the pie.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Also, what a gross... Ew. Ew. I just imagine a bunch of like white colonists just sticking their finger in a pie, and it's basically that entire statement. And I'm not a fan of it.
Googling flags as well.
I know. Like, so this is a podcast.
Hawaii state flag.
People are like doing like their dishes and being like, I don't know what the fucking flag of Wales looks like. Why are they talking about it? Describe it for us. It's got a dragon on it. That's all you need to know.
You'll look it up in your spare time, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're not that cool. They're not that cool.
It's fine. It'll be edited out in a beautiful video, and it'll be great. And then you'll have it all on the screen.
Yeah,
probably,
if you listen on YouTube, I will like clip art post the flags as the video plays, and you can look at the video and see the flag pop up on screen. We have high quality editing in this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you will see that production value soon, TM.
Yes. Probably, well, you'll see it when you listen to this, so you'll have already seen it, actually.
And I'm looking forward to see it. Because the new first episode will drop when?
Well, there's no point in saying it here. You just want to know because you don't know it yet.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I don't know. We'll decide this later. Probably on a weekday. 5 out of 7 options.
Nondescript weekday. I like it.
Yeah, we'll figure out. I feel like we should have a pretty regular upload schedule, honestly, as long as we can like make the time and like record it. Editing it does not take very long. That being said, speaking of editing, maybe we should edit ourselves out of this podcast.
No.
And start
tune in next week to find out why my friends are not down.
Oh my god. No. Oh my god. I swear if you remember. But actually, a question for the viewers. If you were given the option and it was all completely ethically handled and sourced, would you try human flesh?
Ew.
Find out our answers. Well, no, you can't tell them that. Find out
the hungry boy.
Find out our answers next week.
Oh yeah, and go like the tweet I just posted.
Do not. Oh my god, are you gonna post it? You're gonna post it on release date.
Oh, too late.
Oh shit, you are. All right, goodbye, everyone. Enjoy.